does it mean to be unstoppable?
Charging straight into the action there.
Unstoppable is a celebration of character.
This is the definition of Ironman as they go up and around.
When all is against you, you keep going.
They find something deep inside him.
When being knocked down is just the moment before you get back up.
That is unbelievable.
When others say you can't, but you know you can. Never give up.
She salutes the crowd and grabs the tape, and what a win it was.
Witness the unstoppable, the Nutri-Grain IronMan and Ironwoman series.
We're back at Kurrawa Beach. The wind is getting stronger and stronger, making for technical difficulties for everybody covering this round of the Nutri-Grain Iron Series. We've seen surfcraft blowing along the sand, Josh Minogue, and that's only going to be a more difficult problem as the wind picks up this afternoon, and it's creating havoc in the surf too. As we get set for the men's super special sprint, because we've got two races, one of which will decide the handicap positions for the second. Here's the entry list.
And the same as we saw yesterday, Ali Day on top. Timperley there, and something we haven't spoken about, Jai Timperley. Every time Ali Day has won a race, Jai Timperley has been on the podium as well. He's been just as consistent, except for one round. So Ali might have 9 straight wins. Jai Timperley has 8 from 9 podiums there. So will today be his day? He's got good skills. Take a look, and once again, will this have big series impact today, just like on the women's side? If Ali Day can handle himself in these conditions, and I think he can, he's pretty good, it will go a long way towards claiming another series title. Candice Warner's on the beach.
I'm down here with Manly's Kendrick Louis. Kendrick, you had a really great race yesterday. What can we expect today?
Hopefully another good one. It's wild and woolly out there and wind everywhere. So I think look, you just got to try and play it smart, play it safe, go as hard as you can, you know, with the waves that's on offer. So look, all the boys are on fire. So just give it your all and try and stay consistent.
Came into this weekend with a bit of an injury. How's that going for you?
Yeah, it's okay. It's look, it is what it is. We've got to deal with it and just push through it. It's a lot better than what it was in Bondi. So look, to be here now, foot on the line, family, my wife's here and everyone's here. So I'm happy. So it's looking forward to it.
One thing, you're always smiling. All the best for the race.
Thanks, Candy. Cheers.
Well, he had a tough round at Bondi, but he finished 5th yesterday, and I've got a feeling Kendrick's vast experience as a former series champion will be a big factor here today. He knows what he's doing, as do some of the other older men in the field. So how they go against the youngsters, we'll find out soon enough. We're back at Kurrawa Beach for the men's 4th round of the Nutri-Grain IronMan series. Matt Bevilacqua there, former champion. Finn Askew has been really exciting. Can he hold it together though? Because if there's, I dare not say this, I dare not say this, but if there's one particular set of conditions, one particular race with this wind being, can Ali Day be perfect again, Josh?
Oh, there he is, the man there. I'm sure he can, but Finn Askew has been so close, but young boys will do young boy things. They make mistakes and they think they've got it and then they don't, and that's happened a few times to Finn Askew. The big thumbs up there from Jai Timperley. He has had 8 podiums in the last 9 races and then a second last. It is either perfect or terrible for Jai, and he's been more perfect than most. The man from Byron Bay right there, he's now at Burleigh Heads, Mowbray Park, under the great Michael King, the coach there, who coached the likes of Ali Day, Matt Bevilacqua, Matt Poole. So he's got his fingerprint on a few of these guys, but we'll have a look now, off and away, and one or two of them, they carry. That's Joe Collins there. He carried the ski under his arm as opposed to dragging it there. It's something that he's developed, the Kiwi boy, and not many of the other guys do it. Joe Collins, he tucks it up under his arm. It weighs 20 kilos, very heavy and tough in this wind, and that's what's got him the full ski length jump. But I think Matt Bevilacqua did the same. So the two Northcliffe training partners there have tucked it under the arm instead of dragging it. Gets them off the beach a little quicker, and that has made all the difference here in race number 1, a super sprint. It's Northcliffe 1 and 2, Bevilacqua on the red, Joe Collins on the blue, and they have got off to a flyer at the moment. They're heading out to the 2 or 3 orange cans out to sea. We can only see 2 of them at the moment, and it's all Collins and Bevilacqua at the moment. Jackson Maynard's there as well. Down at the bottom of the screen, that's Max Beattie in the orange, working his way into it. Corey Taylor's got the red nose on his ski there. Jackson Borg as well, so they don't have to worry about that initial swim can. Oh, Kendrick Louis just almost went sideways and knocked somebody off. off, and Ali Day on the right-hand side goes up and over one there. He just had to put the brakes on, slow down, and he's going to try and go around the entire field there. He knew he was going to get boxed in, so he's gone up to the right-hand side of this field and is going to try and pass as many as he can before he gets to that turning can. And you can see he's put the jets on already, but when they get to that turning can, it's going to make things very, very difficult. So Bevilacqua in 1, Joe Collins, and big bustling Ben Carberry's come up in 3rd place, the former front rower for the Burleigh Bears.
We should repeat and clarify, you're allowed to go inside the swim and the board cans on the ski leg as long as you go around the ski cans. As you said, Josh, the big orange one's further out.
That's exactly right. Only on this opening leg, but to make it fair. So it's Bevilacqua in 1, Carberry in 2, Collins in 3, Corey Taylor in 4 as they turn. And Ben Carberry's the strongest man in the field. He'll have no issues punching into this one. And well, Matt Bevilacqua grew up in Tasmania, and the wind and the cold down there, I'm sure he is used to this as well. He used to tell me about the days he had to wear gloves and a beanie and 3 layers of clothing just to paddle on the river down there. I don't know how he got through it. It's definitely made him tougher, and he seems to be handling it very, very well at the moment. Jai Timperley up into 3rd place, so very strong from Jai as well. Kendrick Louis working his way through after a little bit of drama on the way out, and long way back to Ali Day, the black ski on the inside there. So it's Bevilacqua as he turns for home. Carberry in 2nd. The man, well, he is at the Currawa Club, but from the south coast of New South Wales. You wouldn't believe it. Ali Day, Ben Carberry, Max Beattie were all in the same club growing up at Warilla Barrack Point down there. So there's something in the water down there, and Matt Bevilacqua just cuts off Jai Timperley and now forced to go back across. And you don't want to take, oh, they're going to cut each other across again. Bevilacqua pushing hard there. You didn't want to go too far to the right because you've got to stay outside all of those cans. There's a wave on here for a couple of them. Kendrick Louis pushing hard for home. The rest of the boys are taking a wide berth there. And on the left-hand side, Ali Day, Kendrick Louis side by side. I think they're on the wrong side of the can there, so they're going to have to come back across. Bevilacqua, Ben Carberry, Jai Timperley's fallen off the back, but Bevilacqua and Carberry will get it. You can see on the top right-hand corner, they're all trying to get back across around that red can there. Oh, Kendrick Louis just gets inside it. Ali Day just gets inside it as well, and that's what happens. Bevilacqua went left, went right, and when he went back to the right there, he almost ran into a bunch of people there. They're going all over the ocean at the moment. It's absolute chaos.
Kendrick, all the skills were into play there just to stay on the ski as he is trying to get back across that swell. There's some runs coming from everywhere.
Matt Poole's come out of the clouds there. That's him working his way onto the 2nd wave, so he wasn't happy with his 8th place yesterday, but he knows he's got to get his act together in the second half of this series because it's the last time he will go around. So Bevilacqua stands up, Jai Timperley in the background, Kendrick Louis, Matt Poole, Ben Carberry, Ali Day, they are all there, and this is on for all, young and old. Matt Bevilacqua goes up and around, and it's a significant gap, Candice, isn't it? It's really opened up.
It has opened up, and in conditions like this, it can mean a very big difference. So if Matt Bevilacqua can get onto his board and get out in front, I mean, he's going to get the most rest if he finishes in front. But, you know, that you cannot afford to make any mistakes when it's this windy.
Well, this is the tricky part for Matt. We saw it in the women's race. He's got to get out on the board, but there are other athletes coming in still on their skis. He's going to have to be very careful here. And he's once again, as all the others behind him, is taking that really wide line. It will give him a bit of cover from some of the others coming in, but he's going to be moving across on the board as he heads towards that first can.
Spot on. He's gone straight into the centre of the rip. You can see how those waves are coming in either side of him. Matt Poole didn't go as far. He's just out of shot on the right-hand side, and Ali Day on the yellow board in the background, he is there as well. Didn't quite go as far. Ben Carberry knows that he's not as strong as Bevilacqua on the board, so he's just going to sit on the tail, let him be sucked all the way around. And you can see on the far left-hand side, that's Matt Poole all the way over there. He decided to go straight out. He said, don't worry about the rip, I'm just going to get straight into it there. And it's a quick line out, but I don't know how he's going to go cutting back into that wind. It's really, really tough. You think about how hard it is to run into the wind. Imagine paddling a board with everything pushing into your face there. And Bevilacqua's hedged his bets, taken the right line, and you can see Poole just sneaking into shot there, starting to come across. These two, well, training partners, they were roommates for 7 or 8 years together. They know each other inside and out, and they'll be very, very comfortable working hard together. So it's Bevilacqua Bevilacqua in 1, Carberry on the green in 2, Matt Poole in 3, Ali Day on the yellow in 4, Jai Timperley inside him in 5 there, Corey Taylor just off the back, and Kendrick Louis on the purple there. So that is your top 7, and then the rest of the field's completely strung out, working very hard. I think Joe Collins and Jackson Borg trying to get back into this one with Corey Taylor.
Kendrick just lost a bit of ground in the last part of that ski leg there. Only a couple of positions though, a little bit more ground or water I should say than actual positions, but he can make that up if things just go his way on the way back.
One of the keys in these conditions as well is to keep the rating really high, and that's what Matt Poole's doing there. That's him on the far right hand side. Ali Day as well, he's really flying. Every time you take your hands out of the water, the wind's going to slow you down, going to push you back. So the higher your rating is, the more you've got your hands in the water, the more forward movement the board's going to have. So you don't want to be slow, long and strong. Maybe you shorten it up, pick the rating up, keep those strokes going. Have a look at Ali Day. He's doing exactly that, moving the arms as quickly as he possibly can, keeps the board moving forward, and these two former training partners will settle in as well, and they know how it works. They'll get around that can, they'll make sure they give each other plenty of room, get to the beach, and then go to work in this swim. Ski swim boards, the order of race 1. We'll stop, we'll set ourselves 3-second gaps, and we'll go again.
This is a good race for Benny Carberry. He was 12th in round 1, made the quarterfinals in the second round, wave cross, and then 15th yesterday, but didn't compete last series, 5th in 2019-20, and it's great to see him come back and come back strongly.
Missed last year's series with a huge injury there. He had to work. He works on a job site there. He's a chippy, and he got clipped and basically cut his arm open in a horrific accident. Had to miss the whole summer. He went to the trial and looked fantastic. I thought this was going to be his year, but I think he came down with COVID, and he's really battled to get back into it. So maybe now he's sort of got over that, and he's just starting to warm his way into the series. It's a good year for the man. He's old man. He's a great bloke as well. Played in the NRL for Souths and St George as well. So a great man and a great club that he comes from, the Currumbin Club, and formerly Warilla Barrack Point as well.
And he's built like a rugby league player too, Ben. He has played a bit of it himself.
Yeah, that's it. He played in the Queensland Cup, and he's a very strong man, and a day like today will suit him, that's for sure. The boys turn for home, start to put the accelerator on, and I think Bevilacqua's just opened up. Kendrick Louis got a wave. Kendrick Louis got a wave, but he's got to cut back. He's got to cut back around that can. Have a look at the skills there. He just gets around it. He puts the power down. Jai Timperley doesn't do him any favours by coming up and giving him a little bump there, and it's all fair in love, war and racing out at the moment. Jai Timperley knew if he could put him under pressure there, he mightn't get around the can. Ali Day gets one as well, so they're coming from all over the place out in the ocean. Ali Day will come up alongside Matt Bevilacqua. So we've got 3 former champions in the top 4, and basically the heir apparent in Jai Timperley. This is experience rising to the top.
And that was Kendrick you saw in close-up. He is on the far left of your screen in this shot, but he's made up a lot of ground on that wave, and he's very cleverly now cutting back to give himself less of a run up the beach. And there's Ali Day on the right of your screen. Now level Matt Bevilacqua. That must be a wry smile. He looks across and sees Ali Day, who's just been hanging around the place getters, but now runs side by side or just ahead of Matt as they get on the beach.
He thinks, what do I have to do to get away from him here? He just keeps going. Jai Timperley gets up and around. He knows he's got the fastest feet in surf sports. Him and Joe Collins. Have a look at that transition. He's already opened up a gap on Day. Bevilacqua, Kendrick Louis up and around. Matt Poole works his way through as well. Corey Taylor, very, very good.
Candice Warner.
Just like we saw in the women's race, the men are running really fast south to avoid having to swim back to that can. If they end up too far north and having to swim back to the can, it makes it really, really tough. But Kendrick Louis is having a really, really good race, and we spoke to him before the race, and he was keen, he was happy, and just really grateful to be here with his foot on the line.
Well, you talk about series champions, Candice, Kendrick being one of them, and Josh, you mentioned it in that top group. It's the smarts that are really coming to the fore in the conditions today.
Yeah, then you have the enthusiasm of Jai Timperley. He said to me last night, I spoke to him, he said he was really keen to make a mark today because he's been a bit of the bridesmaid, so close every time, can't get a win, and he knows that he's good enough, but he just needs the right race, the right set of conditions, and he's in there up to his eyeballs.
This is going to be a fascinating contest because a couple of these guys are very, very good in the swim. We'll talk about that when we come back. The men fighting for the series are fighting for victory in round 4 of the Nutri-Grain IronMan Championship. Ali Day on the right, Matt Bevilacqua on the left as they get into the swim leg, and they're deep into it now, going around the second can. Who are the key swimmers in this league? Because a couple of these guys are far more accomplished than some of the others.
Yeah, Ali Day, definitely the best swimmer there. He's gone to the front, and I would have thought Kendrick Louis had worked his way through the field a little better, but Matt Bevilacqua's gone past him, so it's Ali in 1, Jai Timperley in 2, Bevilacqua in 3. So Bevilacqua's swimming this year has gone up a level. Usually it's his weakness, and he's really struggled. He just tried to hang in. Now we've seen a couple of times when he swum up alongside Ali Day and really tested him a little bit. So I think that time in the pool, it's really paying off for Matt Bevilacqua, who's into 3rd. Louis in there as well. Corey Taylor's up into 5th. And Ben Carberry, he's the man wearing the pink cap in the background. He's just hanging on. So Day right in the centre of the shot. Jai Timperley behind him and Matt Bevilacqua. And that is, well, what I'd expect to be the top 3 in the overall series as we get to the business end. In what order, I don't know. There's a little wave out the back, so this might shake things up for a few of them, but it just sort of peters out. A couple of them might push down this one. I don't know if they can see it. It just goes underneath them again. Ali Day on the front will get one as well. Ask and you shall receive. So race number 1 of Super Sprint, Ali Day gets the wave down there. It'll push him forward as it doubles up there. And well, do you want to give Ali Day a head start into race 2? 3 seconds. He'll take 3 seconds and turn it into 30 seconds if you're not careful. Look at the body surfing there, all the way to the beach. No dramas at all. This next one, we'll pick a few of them up. I think Carberry's come through on that one. I can see the pink cap there. I don't know if it's Ben, but I think he's the only one wearing the cap as he went in. But Ali Day stands up, wins race 1 of Super Sprint, and will get a 3-second gap on the rest of the field. The man from Kiama on the south coast of New South Wales, now at Surfers Paradise up on the Gold Coast. He has been perfect all summer long, and he continues that in race number 1. The race for second place is on as well. Ali Day crosses the line as the winner, and he will go off first and pole position.
And he looks like he hasn't spent a penny. This is a good result. This is good.
And Carberry, great for him there. So the 2 boys formerly at Warilla Barry Point, 1st and 2nd, they'll be cheering down there. Great from the big fella. Bevilacqua gets around in 3rd. Jai Timperley 4th. Kendrick Louis in 5th. And well, they were the big 5 from early in that race. Corey Taylor as well, and that gap has just exploded. Oh, Corey Taylor gets the drink bottle for the crowd. What a good bloke. Joe Collins, so the 2 Kiwis there across there. Joe Collins, after a great start, faded, built back into it. Jackson Maynard, he crosses the line there. Very strong from Jackson Maynard. He will go across in 8th place as well. Matt Poole's in the mix. Looks like Max Beattie or Corey Fletcher there. They get across as well. The 2 wildcard boys was Max Beattie. So big performances from all these boys. They'll be inside 30 seconds at the moment. Jackson Borg as well, but it's a big gap when Ali Day has been perfect so far this summer.
Looked like he wouldn't blow out a candle as he crossed that finish line. Ben Carberry made up 4 positions to just get that little bit of time up his sleeve on Bevilacqua. Timperley, who lost 3 positions in that leg. Then Kendrick Louis, who only lost 1 place, but 5th. We thought he might have gone a little bit closer because his swimming background is enormous, not just in this series, but in the pool.
That's exactly right, but I think he's battling injury like we spoke about.
Of course, right.
He tore both his calves last year, and I think that's having a bit of an effect on him. You can see he's just a little ginger when he goes through those transitions, and we thought it was old age, but I think he's re-tore those calves, and Candice Warner is on the beach.
I'm down here with Ali Day. Thank you so much. I know how precious this time is in between races. Are these conditions as tough as they look?
Yeah, they're pretty brutal. It doesn't look like much now with the camera on us, but there's a lot going on out there. Obviously the wind, you can't tell with everyone watching home, but it's blowing a gale, so it's tough, but you know, I'm lucky enough we train literally down the road. We're used to this stuff all the time.
Well, I won't keep you. Thank you so much for your time. All the best for the next race.
Thanks, Candice. Cheers.
Great commentary there from Ali Day. He pretty much said it all. Don't go in there, Ali. Come and join us and call the rest of the race. It's the only chance they've got of beating you, I think. He's going so well. We'll be back after this with race 2. We're set now for the final race of this round, the decisive race in the Nutri-Grain IronMan series. And I tell you what, there's been some interesting developments from further back in the field. We've talked about the pointy end. TJ Hendy has only just finished race one.
He was 3.5 minutes behind, which means he'll only get 90 seconds before they get themselves on the line, set and ready to go again. And TJ mustn't be well, because normally he's up in that top 5. We've seen him win races before, and he is not having a good weekend. Normally he's one of the guys to watch in this one, and he had a last place yesterday, so you think things aren't right with the big fella.
And I made reference to it earlier, but particularly in the case of Ali Day, the fitness is so important here. We all expect them to be at peak fitness, but when you've just got that extra level, it just solves a lot of problems out there.
That's it, and you don't get tired, you don't make mistakes. We see the Northcliffe boys there, the 2 Kiwis with their coach Kev Morrison, a great Kiwi athlete in his own right there. We saw Matt Poole. This is Ali Day. He just goes for a jog down. You don't want to let the heart rate drop too much. Your body can go into a bit of a shock if it thinks, oh well, I'm done for the day, and then you've got to get it going again. You just want to warm down, get rid of the lactic acid. That'll be the key. Keep the arms and legs moving. Don't let it seize up. Have a little drink and go again. He's getting full instructions from his coach Zane Hamill then, and Ali will be giving him feedback. I don't think I went far enough, or I think I went a little bit too far. They'll work out a plan, make some adjustments, and when you've got an athlete like Ali Day, it seems simple, but a hell of a lot of work goes in to a performance like that. And you can see Finn Askew there, he just patted him on the back.
Nice touch.
That's it, mate. And Ali Day, he's the nicest guy in the sport, without a shadow of a doubt. He said yes to an interview when he didn't have to. A lot of the athletes would be said, no, I'm out of here. Ali Day, he is a class act above all else. And the boys, they start to line up, get themselves set and ready to go for race number 2 of the Super Sprint.
Conditions are changing all the time. We'll get back to that in a minute, but still the same battle we've seen, and this is how they stand at the moment.
The race results of number 1 and also the leaving order in race number 2. So Day, Carberry, Bevilacqua, Timperley, Louis and Corey Taylor. That's your top 6, and very, very tough. 21 seconds back to Joe Collins. A full 30 seconds back to Beattie and Poole there. Fletcher, Finn Askew, Gould, Palmer, Morris, Taylor, Cotter. And it doesn't matter that Hendy was 3 minutes down. He'll just be 57 seconds behind his training partner, Ali Day. He's in this one with a chance, but it's going to take something special.
The big mover there was Daniel Collins. He made up 8 positions on that last leg. So that's 24 seconds he's helped himself to in terms of starting this second and decisive race.
When you think about it that way, it's huge, isn't it? Every spot, 3 more seconds, you're a little bit closer to the lead. And it was funny, the boys after yesterday's race said they were standing on the line for race number 3, and all of them were saying, geez, I've never been so tired in my entire life. And today, some of them just look a little bit better, so they might have been better for the run yesterday, blown a few cobwebs out and starting to feel better there. And some look like the weight of the world's on their shoulders, and some look like they're fired up and ready to go. So we'll see who's got it and who does not right here in race number 2 of Super Sprint. Ali Day on the front, TJ Hendy on the back. Set and away. 3 second gaps between Carberry, 6 to Bevilacqua, 9 to Timperley, 12 to Louis and 15 to Corey Taylor. That is your top 5, and the winner's got to come from the top 5. You have to think. Watch Corey Taylor and Joe Collins go, the 2 Kiwi boys. And a big shout out to all the Kiwis watching as well, because they're rabid supporters for their boys. We've got a few in the field here and they're doing a great job. This is another one, Max Beattie, the wild card. He'll go. Matt Poole in his, 88th Kellogg's Nutri-Grain IronMan race. It's a lot. Corey Fletcher, he's only in his 3rd series, so watch for him. Finn Askew in just his 2nd series there. Wes Gould, the West Australian, the man from Mullaloo, watch for him to go. Palmer there from Maroochydore. Morris, these are the young guns. Kai Taylor, he is our next-gen athlete from the Newcastle region in New South Wales. Hayden Cotter, the swimmer, he'll work his way into it. And TJ Hendy, the last man to go, 57 seconds down. He went quick off the line, but have a look at our leaders working their way through the break. It is a big, big gap and a daunting task if you look up and see that they're already almost through the break.
We talked about strategy, picking their line, and that'll vary, of course, but when they get out there, the conditions are so choppy and so mixed up. We've got that side wash working, the rip involved, but factoring all that in and the chop, it's getting back to this fitness question, the little extra efforts that are required. We talked about and we saw Ali Day's great body surfing towards the end of that last race. To do that at such a late stage in the race, the lactic acid's built up, you're tired, all these things are going on. Those little extra efforts, the fitness required to do those is remarkable. And they're important, and that's what will probably decide this race, and we'll find out when we get back. You know those nice, refreshing early morning pool swims, Josh Minogue? You know, it's just so beautiful to get in the water and just swim away. This is anything but.
Oh, the worst. It's
extraordinary.
A washing machine.
The wind has really picked up here. I know we've talked about it a lot during the course of this coverage, but it is getting worse.
Yeah, and it's just blowing harder and harder. And I think tomorrow's where we're going to see it. The swell's going to pick up. They'll come back for the specialist. But we've got a race to run, to win here today. Bevilacqua has swum past Ben Carberry into second, but it's still Ali Day on the front. So first and second in the overall point score are first and second right here in this one. So in your shot there, it's Ali Day in 1, Bevilacqua in 2, Ben Carberry in 3. You know who's moving through the field is Dan Collins. You spoke about him picking up 8 places. I just saw him working his way through the background there with the cap on the green, a little lump. He's going to come up and he's in that back group there as a little wave comes on here. Bevilacqua won't get it, but Ali Day might. He pushes down the front of it and wow, that is going to open it up for Ali Day. It's not over yet, but it certainly takes his 3-second lead into a much, much bigger one.
Shades of wave cross. In that case, to be fair to Matt Bevilacqua, they were on that wave together. In this case, Ali had a little bit of break on him, and that just enabled him to get onto that wave. But wow, he does it every time.
Matt Bevilacqua will be thinking, what do I have to do to just end up on a wave with Ali Day? He doesn't want to beat him. He just wants to be with him when they get out of a swim. So Day gets out of the swim leg there. Swim, ski, board is the order for this second race. He will go up and around, and the handlers are all holding onto those skis on the beach because they have been flying all over the place. He heads through transition. Bevilacqua, that is him up and around. Candace, the gap is bigger than it started. It's probably 10 seconds.
It is, and just like you said, Josh, the handlers, well, a lot of credit has to go to them on days like this. I mean, athletes are doing it tough, but these handlers, I'm telling you, they have got it hard. Holding onto these skis and making sure that everything's right for the athletes, I mean, you have to take your hat off to them.
Well, if you've just joined us, we saw a couple of those blowing across the beach during the women's race, and the handlers, as Candace said, had to regather those in time for the women to get back into transition. So far, so good for the men, but gee, this field is really spaced out after the first leg.
That's it. Dan Collins has had a huge swim there up into third, the former world junior champion, so he's had a great one there. Carberry, Joe Collins, Kendrick Louie, Jai Timperley goes up and around, Matt Poole, Corey Taylor, Max Beattie. This is Jackson Maynard heading through Jacko Borg as well. So Jackson Borg sitting third on the overall point score, and he's down in 11th or 12th place as they go through transition. So a lot of work for him to do to get back into this one, and the guys look tired. What a swim for TJ Hendy. TJ Hendy's come around there, so he's gone from last past maybe 6 guys there as Corey Fletcher, a former podium finisher, has really struggled in that swim, but Matt Bevilacqua has worked his way back into this one as he goes up and over, gets a little bit of air, so that gap has closed again as Ali Day got clipped by a few waves. It's not completely closed, but it's done a little bit, and Bevilacqua's just taken probably a better line as well. You can see them both out to sea. Bevilacqua on the red, Ali Day on the black, and while Ali Day's in front, he's going to have to come back across.
Bear in mind, Matt Bevilacqua 3 times Molokai Oahu paddling champion, and that is the World Championship of Ocean Paddling, so this is his chance. If he's going to get anywhere in this race, he's got to move now, surely.
Yeah, that's exactly right there. He's used to these sorts of runners. Nobody does it better. His board leg is his best leg, so if he can be close late in this race, but it's like saying Ali Day has a weak leg, because he doesn't. He's just as good on the board, swim and ski, and he's just as good as the best guys on all 3 legs, as Day just gets clipped as well, and every time that nose goes up in the air, the wind catches it ever so slightly, pushes it across, and Day's going to have to work back across to the right, and Jai Timperley's worked his way into third place down there, so having a very strong performance. Ben Carberry on the far left-hand side's getting blown away. Corey Taylor's there. All the big guns. Joe Collins working hard as well, but they're all chasing these two, and you can see the gap off into the distance there. It's 1 and 2, and then Daylight the rest.
They are punching into this southeast wind, and look at that. Ali Day beautifully working his way towards that turn, taking the tightest line possible. That is so hard to do. It's hard to explain how difficult this is in the conditions today to manage that.
It was 9.5 seconds between Ali Day and Matt Bevilacqua when they went through transition there. That gap has closed. That gap has shut down almost half. I'd say it's only 3 seconds now. So this is going to get interesting when they turn the final orange can for home. Of course, they can't cut back too quickly. Ali Day did that in the first race on the ski. I noticed he ended up inside the cans, had to come back across. So he'll learn from that mistake. Matt Bevilacqua, on the other hand, went went very, very wide. He went all the way to the left and then just turned and shot straight to the beach. So you pay for it now or you pay for it later. If you turn and go hard right, you're going to have to come back across, or you keep punching, turn and go for home, and we'll see the different tactics. Ali's gone a little bit early. Matt Bevilacqua's decided to hold off and see he keeps cutting across there, and once he turns, it'll be all focused to the beach.
Matt Bevilacqua almost disappears in the slot behind Ali Day in that shot you see there, to give you an idea how lumpy it is, how difficult it is, and look how hard they're working.
Bevilacqua got a run there, it closed the gap, but Ali Day gets one as well, and it'll just yo-yo that gap. Every time Bevilacqua gets one, Ali Day gets one as well, and Day's gone inside that turning can, so I don't know if he's going to be able to cut back across. Bevilacqua's still far to the right-hand side, and you can see the skill. He cuts across. Every time one of those waves hits him, it goes up, down, up, down. He's got to get across and around this red can. Bevilacqua's coming hard on it as well. He's going to try and do the same thing. Ali Day gets around, and a wave stands up for him. He just can do no wrong. Bevilacqua, look at the skill to get around that red turning can there. Ali Day cuts in there. This is some of the best surf ski surfing you will ever see out of anyone. Conditions are tough. They're weaving in and out of the cans. They're racing for not only prize money and points, but pride as well. And these two are the best in the business. They're going head to head as he digs it in there, brings it out, and wow, that's as good as you'll ever see.
He knew that wave he was on was going to fill out. He then pursued the one just ahead because he knew that was going to take him all the way to the beach. That's what makes a champion, along with all the other great stuff he does.
Swim done, ski done. He knows Matt Bevilacqua will be on the hunt, and Ali Day is going like a scalded cat. Candice, he looks determined heading into this final transition.
Ali is extremely determined. He looks super focused, but Matt Bevilacqua is going into his best leg, the board leg. So if anyone can catch Ali Day, it will be Matt.
It's going to be very, very tough for him there. Have a look at the gap. Ali's heading into the water. Bevilacqua just through transition now. So that gap opened up again, and it's gone out to 12 seconds. So it started at 9, it closed up to about 3, it's now out to 12, and Matt Bevilacqua, he's going to need to have the paddle of his life, and this is where we saw the drama in the women's race. The skis are coming in, some of them are losing it, the boards are going out, and this, if some of the boys lose them, send them sideways, that was the drama, but I think we're all safe.
We see Matt Bevilacqua far left of your screen. He's almost out of shot there. He took a much wider line than Ali because he saw that group of paddlers coming in on the ski, and he just wanted to get out of that trouble. Ali was able to just be a little bit ahead and get away from it.
Kai Taylor's gone sideways there, so this is what we were talking about. He's cutting through there. A couple of the back markers managed to hold it together. I thought Kai Taylor had gone sideways, so it's Timperley in third. We take a look back at transition. That's Ben Carberry, Joe Collins. They're down in 7 and 8. Matt Poole's in 9. Jackson Borg in 10. Wes Gould in 11. They heading out onto the board. Plenty of work to do. We can see they're working their way in. Ali Day's into the green water. Matt Bevilacqua is as well. The rest of them are on the beach. And, well, Jai Timperley was 35 seconds down heading into this one. It's a race in 2 at the moment, but they've just been held up ever so slightly. That's a perfect shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see them all there, and the huge gaps back. There's a minute and a half all the way back to Adam Palmer down in 14th, and he's having a pretty good round. A 14th is a good result in this tough conditions here, and he's 90 seconds behind our leaders. This is unbelievable.
The big movers after that transition, Jai Timperley picked up 4 positions. Corey Taylor picked up 5 positions to move into 4th. Daniel Collins lost a couple of spots. Ben Carberry lost 3. Joe Collins lost 3 positions back in 8th, and Matt Poole in the top 10. The veteran who'll be retiring after this series.
Yeah, he is looking to have a good finish to this summer, but I think Ali Day's going to rain on his parade, or wants to anyway, because he is not sharing at all, Ali Day. So have a look at that. 2 minutes back to Fletcher, Hayden Cotter. Wow, that gap is giant as Ali Day turns that can, and Matt Bevilacqua continues to work hard. You can see Ali Day's rating is just so much higher. He ducks himself down, decides to lay down because it's the safest option. It probably takes him out of the wind a little bit more as well, keeps it aerodynamic, and he just rates up. It's all about the little nipper style there. Keep the arms ticking over, and you can see Matt Bevilacqua, his rating's just not as high, and he's just not making up any ground at all. It's hard to see him struggle. He's back on the knees, up, down, up, down. That's the sign of a tired athlete.
Well, he's almost directly into the wind there too when he's back up on the knees, and he just can't afford not to, though, at this stage. He has to put it in really hard, because look at that gap. Ali Day on the far right of of your screen there, coming up to the final turning can. That's a winning lead.
What I see from Ali Day that I don't see from a lot of these guys is when he gets tired, he sticks to the game plan. He spends a long time on his stomach, then a long time up on his knees. The other guys, they get fatigued, they go up, down, up, down, up, down. That takes up time. It gets them out of rhythm, but it's a natural thing to do. You get in an uncomfortable position, you want to change it. Not Ali Day. He sets himself on his knees, and I guarantee he will stay on his knees all the way through the break here. He's just going to push and push and push and push. Bevilacqua's going to do the same. If any man can catch him, it's Bevilacqua on the board. We spoke about his Molokai credentials in the past. There is no man better on the way home than Matt Bevilacqua. He just needs an opportunity. This is Ali Day's race to lose. Jai Timperley's turn for home as well. Out the back, there's a few little waves, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Bevilacqua forced to cut back across. Corey Taylor gets in on the action as well. He's turned for home. Bevilacqua's coming. Ali Day's found something. There's a wave on offer for Bevilacqua, but Ali Day's on top of this one. He pushes, it fills up on him. So it just leaves a crack at the door open. There's a wave here. Is this going to be the one? Bevilacqua turns. He's going to have to push. Ali Day's pushing on almost nothing there. Bevilacqua's missed it. I can't believe he let that one go underneath him. I don't know if it was enough for him to get down it. I'm harsh on him, I know.
It was an awful wave. It doubled up on him, and he got enough, but not enough to beat Ali.
That was his one opportunity there. I think Ali Day left a crack for him. Mother Nature said, here you go, and Matt Bevilacqua, well, he did everything right up until that point, and there's nothing wrong with a second place finish, but when it's behind this man, he just creeps himself further and further in front. Ali Day, for the first time in a long time, see him salute the crowd. I think you'll be happy with that one. We asked the question, can he get it done in these conditions? Are there any conditions he can't get it done in? High fives all round. Ali Day makes it 10 straight wins. Well, what a performance from him. Nutri-Grain IronMan Series Round 4 champion, Ali Day. He wins Super Sprint and makes it 10 races in a row. Unbelievable stuff.
And the look on that face says a lot, part of which is, how do I beat this guy?
Oh, he's doing everything right.
He's a top bloke, Matt Bevilacqua. He'll be a great sport about this, but he must be wondering what next. There are so many variables, a lot of which we've seen at play today, and Ali seems to be able to recover them. Great effort from Jai Timperley here. He's back.
Another podium, no problems at all. So that makes it, 9 podiums in the last 10 races for Jai Timperley. He'll be very happy with that one. And Mr. Consistency, that is for sure. And up the beach, is this Wes Gould? He's gone up and around. What about that one? What a board paddle for Wes Gould.
He picked up 7 positions on the last leg, and now he's just powered home.
Corey Taylor, Dan Collins, Joe Collins there. Jackson Borg, Matt Poole. So across the line, Wes Gould from the Kurrawa Club. Have a look at him go. Maynard, Kai Taylor as well. So every race, every place counts on the overall scheme of things there. They crossed the line. They looked like they were fighting it out for 12th and 13th. But Wes Gould has had the race of his life. 7 places in that final leg. Unbelievable stuff. And I think Ali Day's injured himself here as well. So what a finish.
And that was actually 14 positions in total that Wes has picked up over the last 2 legs. Extraordinary performance. There's the great man, Ali Day. We'll come back and talk to him after this. Well, we saw these freakish conditions today really upset Lana Rogers, the defending champion in the women's series and certainly a contender until today. Not so Ali Day in the men's. He just made every post a winner, as they say in the classics. Here's Candice.
I'm down here with the race winner, Ali. Ali, another day, another format, another win.
Yeah, it feels pretty good, doesn't it? But obviously, any time you get the chance to win, I mean, I said that to you yesterday off camera. I remember years ago, just trying to get on the podium, but to win races like that, it's a dream come true. And I just got to make sure I really soak it up, enjoy it. But the back of my mind, I know I've still got 2 more days to go. So, got one eye on that, but also just trying to soak it up too.
I noticed on your ski, you've got your wife and your son's initials. How much of this success and what you do is for them? Everything.
Yeah, everything. They are. It's there for a reason, obviously, particularly in conditions like that today. It just takes my mind off what I'm supposed to be doing and focus on them. And as I said to you yesterday, Candice, they're the ones I do it for, and they're the ones behind the scenes that make me, allow me to go out and do what I do every day. So I'm so grateful. I feel like I'm literally the luckiest guy in the world.
You're a true champion and you're inspiring so many nippers and the next generation. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Candice. Cheers. And just shout out to everyone at home, on the South Coast that are watching us. Love you guys and appreciate it.
Well done.
There you go.
He's a proud man from Kiama on the south coast of New South Wales, and he sits atop the point score today, all day, every day, alley day, on top with a maximum of 20 points. And while it's not a big gap to Matt Bevilacqua, just the single, it just creeps more and more open every time. Louis just finished outside the top 10 after a strong start in race number 1. We saw Taylor and Maynard really go at it there. Askew, Morris, Beattie, Fletcher and TJ Hendy. Let's take a look at the overall point score. A perfect 80 points. 6 back to Matt Bevilacqua, who's had a 4th, and then 3 second places. Borg and Timperley are in the fight of their lives. Just a half point separates them. Wes Gould has jumped up after the 4th place today. Carberry, Taylor and Palmer will be looking to bounce back tomorrow, as will Hendy and Cotter.
We talked about decision making at the start of the program. It did come down to moments. We'll have an unstoppable moment after this.